what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to have a little bit more of a chilled video. I am going to be testing out and playing around with this 12-piece brush set, which matches my headband, by Professional Nail Hair and Beauty. I shared my thoughts with you guys in this video, so if you do enjoy, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and let's get into the video. So I'm actually going to go in with the Spoonie Brush, which is actually pretty nice and convenient. It's not a double end, which is really good for storing it downward. There is like a little grooming brush as well, which you can use, which is perfect for if you just want to groom your eyebrows, you know, cut them, trim them. Perfect. But I'm not going to use this today. I'm going to go straight in with this one right here. And this is because, yes, you can use it to blend in your eyebrow product. You can also use it to shape your brows in a way. But I love to use these kinds of spoolies with my clear soap that I use to set my brows. But I'm just going to go ahead with some setting spray, spray my clear soap, and I'm just going to run my brush through it. And this is going to make like a kind of a paste, which is going to mimic a clear brow gel really. And it's going to keep them up. Look at the difference. Okay, then I just like to take the reverse side, the handle, and just press my brows down by rolling the handle right over it like that. So this way the soap will kind of dry down, and it'll dry down flat, and it also means it won't move. Okay, then I'm going to go in with more of a defining brush. This could be used for anything. For liner, it can be used to fill in your brows. It can be used for any kind of detail because it's nice and slim. But I particularly love to use it to clean up under my brow area, as well as create any kind of cut creases. So for the eyeshadow, I'm going to go into the Colourpop Yes Please palette. A palette that I have not used in a long time. And you can tell that it is quite loved. We're not going to do anything too hectic. We have 5 brushes that I want to showcase to you guys today. And we're going to kick it off in the crease with this beautiful, beautiful, not too dense, not too fluffy crease brush. And I think I'm going to start off with the shade right here. The brush is quite good at depositing color as well as blending out those edges, as you guys can see. Let me just zoom you guys in. I'm just going to apply this color to the lower lash line as well. Same brush. I'm just going to go into the shade right here. Still using the same brush. I do wish that there was more than one blending brush in this little brush set, because this one is perfect for more defined areas. And I find that a really good like blown out one, almost one like this, will allow you to like blow that color out like insanely. Okay, then I'm just gonna go in with this flat, it's almost like a concealer packing brush. It's a little bit bigger. There are 2 of them. There is a smaller one and a bigger one. I'm just gonna use the bigger one to cut my crease. Bigger brushes really allow you to get a good crease, especially these kinds of brushes, because they are like kind of curved. So it basically does most of the work for you. Then I'm actually going to go in with this little applicator right here. It's almost like one of those that you get in a palette that is like dual end, and it's almost like a sponge. Now I actually love these to apply pigments, and I'll tell you why. So in the Colourpop palette I have a whole bunch of like loose glitters that don't necessarily show up with a brush. But this will show up with this applicator because it kind of mimics a finger. See what I mean? So yeah, I know that it is not necessarily the most common thing that you would find in a brush set, but it works really well with pigments, and pressed pigments particularly. Okay, now I'm going to take a pencil brush with a bit of that darker shade. This is just going to help us better define it on the lower lash line. And the inner corner, I'm going to go in with this gold shade and the smaller concealer slash packing brush, and that fits perfectly into the inner corner. Okay, I'm going to do the other eye off camera and then we'll be back to do the complexion. Okay, we are back. I didn't put mascara eyelashes on. I figured we could do that step last. And I also have my foundation and concealer on. So I was going to show you guys the whole ordeal, but I only realized after I applied my foundation, I used a stick foundation. That is the only brush that we have to apply foundation. Now this to me is really good if you're going to be mixing two foundations, and you can use this to distribute all over your face. In terms of applying it, doesn't work well for me. She is hella streaky. So I just used, where are you my dear, makeup sponge. Easy, super easy. So I've just gone ahead and done my foundation and my concealer. Now we can set. This I think by far is my top 3 like favorite brush in this set. This is almost like a really tiny powder brush. Not really tiny, but this is almost like a little miniature powder brush. It's almost like a tulip brush. But the thing that I love the most about this is that it fits perfectly under the eye, and it is super fluffy, which means that I can get my powder into them creases. Trust me, this is honestly upped my under eye game, because before I used to go in with a blending brush. This is just so much better. So I'm just gonna pick up some powder and go in underneath the eye like that, and that's basically it, guys. Like legit, that's it. Honestly wish that more brush sets came with this brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and set my T-zone. That's where I applied my concealer, as well as my little forehead vibe here. Now for our final brush, yes, our final brush, we have this big guy over here. It is a really beautiful and like super soft, which is why I particularly chose it to do my bronzer and blush and not necessarily my powder. So the reason why I prefer loose and fluffy flimsy brushes like this for bronzer and blush is because number one, you want your bronzer and your blusher to look airbrushed. You don't want to know where it starts and where it ends. It must all flow together. And I like to sometimes use the same brush for bronzer and blush, once again, to marry the two together so that it looks like a beautiful transition. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in with my bronzer first, and then I'm just gonna hit it right there. These are obviously synthetic bristles. I mean, they're pink, come on. But yeah, they work really well. And I think that this is also like a perfect set for a beginner as well, because I feel like there's no pressure, you know. You can do a full face with this brush set. It's perfect to start with. Okay, then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go straight in with my blush as well. If you are feeling a bit uncertain about bronzer versus contour and all that jazz, I have a beginner video up. I'll link it up in the cards for you guys right here, and I'll also put it down below for you guys to check out. It explains everything really nicely, really easy, so you do not have to feel intimidated at all. Okay guys, that basically concludes every single brush in the brush set. I'm just gonna go ahead and finally put on my mascara, my lashes, and pop on a lip, and then I'll be back to finish the video with you guys. Okay guys, and that is a wrap on the pretty pink brushes. As I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, you can get this 12-piece brush set from Professional Nail Hair and Beauty. She will be available pretty soon. I'll leave a link down below to their social media pages as well as their website, just so that you guys can keep an eye on them. If you are interested in getting this brush set, I would 10 out of 10 recommend it to any beginner. Honestly, I think that it is the perfect brush set for you to start off with and for you to build and build and build on, and then eventually you'll end up with a million brushes to wash like the rest of us. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!